Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Botania mod, where we have now got quite a nice little basic setup going. We've got 2 supplies of mana coming in, and we've got a couple of different functional flowers around the place doing some jobs for us. But this is still very much the early game, and I think we need to ramp things up a little bit today, and we're going to get hold of some better functional flowers. But before we can do that, we are going to need to make up our next vital bit of kit from this mod pack. And that's because if I come into here and I go back to JEI and we have a look at our functional flowers by typing fun down the bottom, having a little look at what we have got, the next flower I want to make is actually this one. This is the Marymorphosis, and if I have a click on this one, we can see that it uses the usual petals, grey, yellow, green and red. Those are easy enough, we've got those. It's got our redstone root, we know all about that one so that we can power the flower on and off, but it's also got these doodads down at the bottom as well. These are runes, and it is these that we're going to be using for making all of our more advanced flowers. And in fact, if we come back over and we have a look at all of our flowers, if we go beyond the usual Bellathorn and Dreadthorn, the first ones that we made, every single other flower is going to use runes in some capacity, so it is a really vital part of early game. And so, how do we make these runes? Well, if I just have a little click on one, we can see that it is made on this. This is a Runic Alter, which is itself nice and cheap for us to make. It's just going to use 5 bits of living rock and 1 of these mana pearls, which I believe I made some of last time. So let's see if we can just get that quickly made up. So I should definitely have some of the living rock knocking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. And if I was me, where would I store mana pearls? Not there, not there, not... Ooh, let's just convert 1 of those. That's probably going to be easy enough. Did I put that in my inventory? I did, well done. Right, mana pool. Ah, there's one here. You will do nicely. Ow! Oh, I threw it! Oh, rats. Right, go back and get another one. Oh, I do that all the time. Come on. Where did I put those? I think I might need to sort my storage out as well. No. Yep, there. Right, the rest of them can come with me as well, just in case we do that again. Okay, don't throw it this time. Or at least don't throw it at the ground, just place. There we go. Got there in the end. I swear I do know what I'm doing, really. I'm just slightly rubbish sometimes. Right, so we've got all of our bits and pieces. Let's make this one up on our crafting table. So, living rock to make a little bit of a bench, mana pearl in the middle, and there is our Runic Alter. Right, so what can we do with this then? Well, for now we might as well just use this room and we'll pop it down in the middle and have a look at it. And one of the first things you're going to notice about this is that it's got these 2 little cubes floating around up at the top. You could ignore them for now, they are not of importance at the moment. But what else will happen is if I throw something at this, if I throw my pickaxe at it for example, it will start bobbing around the sides as well. And that's because these runic altars work in a similar way to the Petal Apothecary in that you have a recipe that you place on them before it's able to make something for you. So at the moment you can see it's showing me where my cursor is, that at the moment it has a single iron pickaxe floating around it. A little bit random. Let's give it a lantern as well. There you go. So it now says I've got a pickaxe and a lantern going around me. It can have some wheat, whatever, have a stone brick wall, have my mana tablet, why not? And there we go, we have got a very strange recipe that makes absolutely nothing floating around this. And if I want to remove all of these useless items that aren't going anywhere, I can just right click on the altar with an empty hand and they'll all come back to me one at a time, lastly with the axe that of course we threw on first. Let's break this down though and we'll take it outside, because runic altars do need power in order to work. And by power of course we mean lovely mana. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these little ender flames over here to power my runic altar. I don't want to lose this mana though, so what I'll do is I'll take my tablet. I am going to have a look at this mana pool, which is currently sending mana from pool to tablet. Crouch and right click on that one to take the mana out of my tablet, throw the tablet in there just to empty it down. So there we go. We will just empty that tablet out so that I can pick up the mana from there, so when I move that I don't lose it. So then we'll just let you empty down a little bit. Well, look, I can guarantee you there's not that much mana over here. And now as well, let's just make sure, yep, we're going in the right direction. If I throw this into here, that should just suck up what mana is inside of that pool. It'll empty that one down so that I can replace it with our Runic Alter. Right, there we go. There is one empty mana pool. We can now break that. Pick that one up and we will replace it with the altar. Now we need to make sure that these spreaders are all pointing their mana to the altar. Yep, you are. And let's just go around. So are you. It shows underneath it. It says mana spreader underneath in green Rune Alter, so we know that is where it's going. Plus the little green beams are showing us where it's pointing to. Right, so let's see if we can make up our first rune. And here we need to have just a tiny little lesson that is all about the different types of runes that are in this mod pack, because they are absolutely fundamental to making anything apart from the most basic of flowers. But luckily for us, runes are one of these things that sound a lot more complicated than they actually are. So if we come into JEI and we just pop rune down the bottom, that's going to bring up all of the different runes that we are able to create. And runes can be divided into roughly 4 groups. So we've got the 4 elements up at the top. So we've got water, fire, earth and air. Then you've got the 4 seasons of spring, summer, autumn and winter. And then you've got the 7 deadly sins of lust, sloth, gluttony, greed, wrath, pride and envy. And then additionally you've also got the rune of mana, which sort of stands as a bit of an outlier, that one does. But the only thing you particularly need to remember at this point is that the 4 element runes are the cheapest, the 4 seasons runes are slightly more expensive because each one of them requires you to use 2 of the elemental runes in order to create it, and the 7 deadly sins are by far the most expensive. They are a little bit more advanced. But to help us out with these runes and get to grips with them a little bit better, I think the best way to do that is to pick a flower and we'll make that one up. And I already know which flower it is I actually want to create. So if I come over here and we type in fun to bring back our functional flowers, I want to make this one. This is Marymorphosis, and what this does is it converts stone into all of the nice fancy blocks. So I'll have some nicer things to build with. We can see here in JEI we've got Marymorphosis's recipe, so it's going to use 4 petals. Well, we're perfectly used to those. We've got the redstone root, we know what that one's all about, and this is the 2 runes that it needs to make it. I need to make a rune of fire, and I need to make a rune of earth. And we'll start off with the rune of earth. Why not? So, we are going to be making this on the Rune Alter. We're going to need to make some mana powder and some mana steel, and then get hold of these 3 blocks as well. Well, block of stone, block of coal, and 1 of the mushrooms. First things first though, let's make up some mana powder. Apart from apparently it is now night time, so first things first, let's go to bed. Okay, so in order to make our mana powder, I need to get something that is of a powder form already, or a dye, and throw that into a mana pool that has got at least the tiniest little bit of mana available to us. So, I believe I should have some sugarcane and knocking about somewhere. Yep, I've got that. Let's turn that into sugar, and then turn that into our mana powder. Let's get, that's paper. Whoop. Hey, there we go. 30 of those. And then this one over here will do nicely. I think I'll make up... well, there we go. That's used up all of what was available to us, and we've got 8. That will be fine. Next, I need to get hold of some mana steel. So to do that, we're going to need to get some bars of iron, some ingots. Have we got any? Yes, we have got scads of those. Right, so we'll go make up some of these. We have to run down to a different pool this time. That we'll have to go over to the Hydroanger pool, which, oh, it looks like they have all died off. Oh, well, never mind. That's fine. We don't need them for now. So let's make up a few of these. There we go. Right, and now we are going to be able to combine these on our altar with the other ingredients that we need. What did we need for our rune? Let's have a quick little reminder. Rune of earth, I believe we're going for. So powder, done. Ingot, done. I need a piece of stone, a block of coal, and a mushroom. Mushroom. I might have to go running around for a mushroom. Right, back in just a moment. There we go. 1 mushroom acquired. And a few more for good luck, because why not? Okay, so here we are back at our runic altar, ready to make our first rune. We've got all of the different ingredients that we're going to need, as well as some living rock and our wand of the forest, which we'll need for collecting our rune once it's created. You'll also notice that these endo flames have already got mana inside them, and they've also supplied the spreader as well, so the flow of mana is currently running and our runes are ready to be made at our altar. So let's add our ingredients. We can do that simply by tossing them onto the top of the altar. So there's the powder, One in front, one in behind. That sounds about right. There we go. Here is our steel. Here is your coal. Did that actually go on? Yes, it did. Here is the mushroom and the stone as well. Woo! And the sound effect lets us know that everything is on the way. So, as you can see, our display has changed just slightly. On the right hand side, you can see that there is a dial filling up. That is the Rune Alter filling up with mana at the moment. And it is done. So, these are ready to be combined now in order to make our first rune. And in order to do that, we can just go up to our altar. Don't worry about all of the zappy lights from coming out of it. It's not like it can hurt you or anything like that. Throw a piece of living rock onto the top. You will see that it sort of sits just in the centre, just there. And then we are going to right click on that with our wand of the forest. There we go, and our runes have popped off. There they are on the floor. Come to me, little runes. And after having slept, because it was just about to start getting rather mobby around here, we now have our first runes. Runes of the earth. So now all I need to do is repeat the process again, and this time put together the ingredients to make the rune of fire so that I can make my Marimorphosis. Which in this case is going to involve going to the nether. Always my favourite thing to do, because we need to go on a little hunt for netherwort. Come on, not nether wastes. Okay, Soul Sand Valley. I can deal with that. Ooh, we are very high up. Wow, that is a good drop down there. Okay, so next job, find a fortress. Fortress found. Next we will be needing to acquire our netherwarts. These ones will do. Oh, and I'll have those as well, why not? And just for the hell of it, I'm even going to take the chest with me. Right, and now, get out of here as fast as I possibly can, and I'll pick up some netherrack along the way in order to smelt into some nether bricks. And here we are once again back at our altar. Right, so this time let's make up a rune of fire. So we've got our netherwort, our nether brick and our gunpowder. So we'll pop the steel and the mana powder on first. There's our netherwort, there's our nether brick, and there is our gunpowder. Aha! And once again, we have the sound effects to tell us that everything is going ahead as planned. So we can see that there's our little rune of fire on the side, slowly filling up with mana as it's being created. And I've already got my living rock and my wand with me as well, so I'll be able to just collect it straight from there. And this doesn't take very long at all. Right, you nearly done? Coolio. Right, let's throw our living rock onto the top. And then right click on that with our wand of the forest. Oh. And there we go, we have got our runes of fire. Nice! And now I've got everything I need to make my Marimorphosis. Okay, so I'll just pick up my runes of the earth, which I put in there. And then we'll just check the recipe again. Marimorphosis, we need grey, yellow, green and red petals and the redstone root. Easy peasy. Okay, let's have a little look. We've got redstone root, there's you. Just pop you there a minute. So I needed a red, a green, a grey, and a yellow, if I remember correctly. Just break that yellow flower down. And yellow. Yep, I think that was the lot. Come over to our petal apothecary, and then we'll place all of the ingredients in there, because even when it uses runes, this is still where you make your flowers. So, rune of fire, in you go. Rune of earth, in you go. There they are, floating around down there in the apothecary. One redstone root, red petal, green petal, grey petal, yellow petal, and there's our confirmation that that recipe is going to be able to make us our Marimorphosis. Do I have a seed on me? Do I heck? Nope, there's going to be one in here though. And that should be our last little ingredient. And a seed. Hey, look at that! What a pretty little flower. And they're not only pretty, they're also useful as well, because what they will do is they will convert stone into one of the 8 decorative types of rock that Botania adds. So I should be able to dig into the wall somewhere. Let's go in around here, I think. This looks suitable. Yikes, I certainly have a selection of tools. I think I was wearing this one down. Let's just go in here. Because these Marimorphoses have quite a large area that they can work in. It is a 17 by 17 by 11, all surrounding the flower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig in here a little way. We will place down a torch so that we can see roughly what we're doing. They can't be placed down directly onto stone. You'll have to put down some dirt first. So we'll just pop down a little dirt block for him. There is your dirt block. Pop our flower on top of that. Then I have brought a mana pool with me and also my mana tablet. Do I have my Wand of the Forest? Yes, I do. This is going tablet to pool. Good, that's what we want. And now when I throw this in, you should fill up the pool and our little flower will be able to be attached onto this pool, again by crouching, right-clicking, and then right-clicking on the pool. Ooh, and we can hear the sound of stone being converted around us. Because these work fast. This little guy is going to be able to convert 10 stone per second. Oh, there's one. I love this sound. This is the sound of nice building blocks coming on the way. Oh, we can see a few more of them starting to appear. What we'll do though is we will let this convert the whole area and then we'll just come and take it all out and take it away for building. Right, okay, start of a brand new day. I have been over and just refilled my mana tablet over by where the hydrangeas were. They're the ones who just filled that up. Even if they are dead now, their pool still contains something. Let's see how we're doing in here though. Well, we can already hear the Metamorphosis is definitely finished. It's not converting anymore. And look at all of these lovely new blocks that we have got in here. Let's have one of you. So that is some fuchsite. And let's move our way through these. Lots and lots of lovely new blocks. Now you will find that the proportion of these blocks that you get will depend on which of the biomes that you're in. So at the moment I'm in a plains biome and so I'm going to get mostly talc, but here are the 8 different blocks that you can pick up from one little Metamorphosis converting stone for you. So this is a supremely useful flower if you are looking to get some new building blocks. And of course, at the moment we are doing everything manually. Once we can get this set up with some automation, you can just imagine how quickly we can get loads and loads of new building materials with one little flower and a pool of mana. For now though, I'm going to get all of these blocks dug out so that I can set him off again and get my Metamorphosis converting everything around me into just much nicer blocks to use. Whoop. And there's a nice little example there as well of how it does not convert the ore blocks. It will only convert natural stone, which is great of course, because it means that Metamorphosis won't destroy ore blocks and it's not also going to destroy your builds neither. And I have finally cleared all of it out. And look at the amount of space that this has given us in this room. Look at all of these blocks that have been converted just by one little setting off of this Metamorphosis. They are such productive little flowers. They give you so many new building blocks. In fact, they give you this many new building blocks. We can see we have vastly majority got more talc than anything else, but we have got plenty of the other ones as well. And also bearing in mind, I did end up getting a couple stacks of gravel. You can see some holes where it's fallen through from up there as well. So there could have been even more blocks converted in here, because I've also got these little patches of dirt, which it won't convert. It is only going to change the stone for you. And we've also got mana left as well. It's not like it's used up all that much. In fact, if I hover over it, you can see it's only used 1/8 of a pool for all of these blocks. But because I've dug all of these out with a standard pickaxe rather than one that's got silk touch on it, they have come in their cobbled forms. So I am going to need to smelt these down in order to be able to use them completely. You know, they need to go back into their sort of regular stone form rather than cobble. Ooh, give me half of that one. So if I just pop those in there, and then you little lot in there, and get them smelted down, and we'll have a look at the different variations that these can make. But while we're waiting for all these rocks to cook up for us, I want to make gathering these, my kelp bed over there, a little bit easier with another flower. And to do that, we are going to use a hopper hock. So we just come over into JEI, and I've already got them up here. This is the hopper hock. This is a little flower that will do pretty much the job of a hopper. To make it, we're going to be needing grey petals, 2 of those, and 2 of the light greys. That's easy enough. Our redstone root again, but we're going to be making some more runes. We're going to need to make a rune of air. And for this, we're going to need carpet, easy peasy, a feather, and some string. So let's just make that one up quickly, and then we'll get ourselves a nice little hopper flower. Okay, so I did replace our Rune Alter with a mana pool again, just so that I could keep gathering those in the background. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to pop our altar just down there, I think, and then just retrain these mana spreaders to the altar, and I'll have both of them side by side. Will you reach as well? No. So we can see that from here we've only got one of those green bands that is actually reaching right down to the altar. That one cannot fire through that piece of glass. That's fine though, we'll just train that one back to the pool. I can't take away this piece of glass because otherwise when this dispenser spits out fuel it just pops over the top and everything goes a bit haywire. Anyway, this is fine, we only need the one, it's all going to be good. Let's just go and grab some fuel so that we can power our altar. Yep, you two will do. We'll pop them back into the machine. Yep. Actually leave one with me so that I've got one I can throw. Hey. There we go. Right, so to make our Rune Alter, we need a feather. On you go. We need string. We need a carpet. We need our mana powder and a mana steel. I saw you fall on the floor. You get that. Right, there we go. So once again, that is gathering up our mana for us. Because it's only got one of these mana spreaders firing at it, it is going to gather a little bit more slowly, but as you can see, it's not exactly so slow. We're going to have a hugely long wait. We'll just give this one a second, let that one build up, and make our runes of air. And there we go. As night is descending upon us, the mobs will be out shortly. Our spell is complete. So let's throw on our living rock onto the top. Oh, I missed again. One day I'll get good at this. There we go. I think that's just about on the top. So now we should be able to right click with our wand of the forest. Da-da-da-da! Thank you. I will have those from you. All right, I'm getting back in. Let me go to my bed. And safe. And now, on this bright and breezy morning, we can make our next flower. So we're going to need light grey petals, 2 of those, 2 dark grey petals, a redstone root, and our rune of air. Right, mix these ones all up in our petal apothecary and make our hop hock. So, both of you, redstone root, 1 rune of air. Have I got my seeds? Of course I haven't. Give me a seed. Give me a seed from my plants. You will do. Yeah, let's take all of them actually. You can all go in. Right. Ha ha. Boink. There we go. We have got the hopperhock. And what this is going to do is it's just going to stop me from having to go around with my boat in order to gather up the kelp. So what I can do is I'm just going to extend this little walkway out over there. Pop down a piece of dirt, place our hopperhock onto the top of it, and then I'm going to put a chest next to that with an item frame on the front of it. And on that item frame I am going to place this kelp. And what this hopperhock is going to do is it will detect that there is a chest next to it and that has got an item frame with an item in it. This knows that that is the supply that it is trying to fill up. And so if I throw down a random block, so a slab, for example, it's going to have absolutely no interest in that. It's not going to try to touch it because I don't have any chests in the area which have got item frames with the item filter on the front of it. See, this is kind of like a filter. If, on the other hand, I break that kelp just there, what it will do is it will detect that there are items in this area and it's going to put them into the chest for us. Nice, easy way of gathering this. It will work without any mana supply with it, but if you give it the mana supply, it will work in a much wider range. So we'll give you your own little pool. Here you go. And I've already got this ready. So tablet 2 pool, that's the one that we want. In you go. That'll fill up our pool for us. Is our flower already linked? It is not. So we can crouch, right click flower, right click pool. It is now listening to that pool and taking mana directly from it. We can see it's got its little particles going around it, so we know that is a fed flower. Whoop, got the water. Give me back my tablet. Right, now when I go and break down all of this kelp, that little flower is automatically going to pick it all up for us and gather it in the chest. Wait, let's go swimming. And you can see all of the little wafty grey particle bits. That's where it's picking up all of those bits of kelp for us. Oh, I'm going to drown. And there we go. Right, so it has gathered up all of this kelp for me automatically, but we can see that it's missed a lot of it, which is a little bit of a shame, and that's because this little hopperhock does only have a working area of 10 blocks away from itself, so they are simply too far away. That's not so bad though. I'm just going to have to move my kelp bed so that it's directly underneath the flower. And in the meantime, of course, this is such an easier way of gathering up items. No waiting for things to float up to the surface, nothing like that. It is just going to pick them up for us. We just need to, make sure everything is in range. But this does at least mean we've had time now for all of our blocks to get nicely cooked up. Let's just pick up each of these, and we'll go and arrange them, and we'll see what they all look like and what we can do with building with them. And if we bring our raw metamorphic rock over to a stone cutter and we place that inside, we will be able to see what different variations we can make. So each one will give you a chiseled brick version. It will give you a bricks along with its stair, slab and wall variation, and then you can cut down the raw blocks as well into their own stair, slab and wall variations. So if we just pick that one out here, see that we've got our nice little brick block, and they all have slightly different textures on them. In fact, I have arranged them out here for your viewing pleasure. Ta-da! So these are the raw blocks down at the bottom. Above that we have got all of the chiseled blocks. Above that we've got all of the bricks, and above that we've got the cobbled variety as well. And as I mentioned earlier, where you place down your Marymorphosis, which of the biomes you are in, is going to affect how much of each block you're more likely to get. So here in the Blains, I am most likely to get talc, whereas Solite there you're more likely to get in deserts. Fuchsite you are more likely to get in forests. Mycelite you're more likely to get on mushroom plains, mushroom biomes, or deep underground. Rosy talc you will get in the Badlands. Gneiss you will get in any of the mountainous biomes. Lunite you will get in any of the tigers or the cold sorts of biomes. And then Cataclysite you will get in swamps and jungles and places like that. But don't worry, you will always get all of these blocks when you place down the Marymorphosis. It's just that you'll get more of a certain type in different biomes, but it's not like you ever have to go without any of them. And I think that is exactly what I'm going to go and do now. I am going to go back up here, I'm going to shift my Marymorphosis a little bit further into this hill, get myself some more blocks, and then I am going to have a little bit of a play around and see if I can change up the colour of that house. Because let's be honest now, it's still rather boring to look at. But that's not going to be a great deal of fun for you to watch, so I think I'm going to call the episode here while I crack on with that. Happy Minecrafting everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye!